If you always find yourself excluded and alone, it's because you're about to be by yourself with a whole lot of money. All right. Those of us who are good people, who have good intentions, who only wish the best for others, most of the time, you're going to find yourself alone because you're going to find that other people are very unsimilar to yourself. You're going to be looking for people who are like minded. You're going to be looking for people who are the same as you, but it's going to be very few and far between. You may go years before you find the right people who you are truly meant to be with. All right, you're looking for quality. So until you find that quality, it's best for you to stay by yourself, especially if you're working towards becoming successful. All right, a lot of successful people find themselves by themselves, around themselves, because there aren't too many people who are working towards the same level of success as them, and the people that they're around potentially could possibly bring them down. The people that they're around could end up trying to sabotage them, could end up hating on them, or they could end up just slowing them down because they're not interested in the same things, causing someone to have to put time aside to make time for things that they're not particularly interested in. So if you find yourself being excluded, all right, you're about to be rich, all right, because that's wrong. That's the reason why they're excluding you. The reason why they're excluding you is because your energy is way different than theirs. You attract a lot of positivity because you are a positive person. Positive people will attract other positive people. If you're around negative people and you're attracting positive people, you're attracting your blessings, it's not going to be able to work its way into your life. Those people could be so negative that they deter you away, scare you away, put fear in you. Well, I wouldn't talk to that person. I wouldn't deal with that person. There are people that you're not supposed to be around when you're working on yourself, because what they'll do is they will deter you from dealing with people who are going to remove you away from their toxicity. There are people who are going to try to remove you away from the toxicity of those who are trying to hurt you. All right, there are people who are trying to help you that will remove the toxicity, that will try to help you remove the toxicity out of your life. There are people that God will send into your life to remove you from toxic people. There are people who will try to remove you from toxic people. And it's a shame. There are people that, these are people these are the closest people to you sometimes. Sometimes the most people to do this are the ones closest to you. And they're afraid of you going to get some help. They're afraid of you getting the type of real help, the type of real assistance that will show you that this person is not for you, the type of help that will lead you out of being dependent on a person like this. And if you find yourself alone and excluded, this is why you're about to get a lot of money. A lot of people who were alone and a lot of people who were excluded had to do so because the people that they were trying to fit in with were completely toxic. Anyone that would try to purposely exclude you, to either not include you or to make you not fit in, all right, that's a real thing. People exclude people that they either are insecure about or they either just don't like in general. All right, so if someone may not like you for a specific reason, or if someone may not be your cup of tea, or you don't fit in with them, they're going to exclude you. You need to see that as a major issue. If there are people that you're trying to fit in with, or if there are people that you're trying to associate with, and you find yourself being excluded by them, then that's a sign that they don't want you around. All right. But here's the thing. If you're excluded by a lot of people, like every group you try to go into, everything you try to associate yourself with, if you end up being excluded, if you end up being the odd man out, that's because you're about to be by yourself with a whole lot of money. You have a rich vibration. You have a rich frequency. And it's because you're real. Real brings in dollars. Real brings in money. What do people always say? We want the real. You could even be real corny and still get paid. You could even be real bad and still find a way to make things work for you. But I guarantee you, if you are excluded, all right, if people are, if you are suffering from chosenitis, all right, you try to get into groups, it's like you're the ugly duckling. All right, that story resonated with me. I always wondered why that story resonated with me so much as a child. All right, that ugly duckling story. Always that all I always felt I always had a special place for the ugly duckling because it turned into a big beautiful swan, you know, um, basically just like a story from nothing to something. That's what I took from it. And if you are excluded a lot by people, you're going to end up having a nothing to something story. People who are excluded, you're looked at as the worst by people. People don't want to deal with you. People don't want to talk to you. People look down on you. They think they're better than you. They feel they don't need to. They feel they don't need to treat you with any type of respect, and that right there, it pushes you away from them because it's not like you can't tell. It's not like you can't feel it. You can tell when people don't want you around. You can tell when people treat you differently than other people. And the thing is, you don't need to be treated any kind of way, but they kind of like go out of their way to show you that you're being treated different. And that in itself is a form of bullying. But you just have to, toughen up and learn not to care about it. All right. But here's the thing. Some people, they may go through that in one instance. Oh, I remember that one place where, they really didn't take to me that well. There are some of us chosen ones that go through this every every time we find ourselves in the presence of others. Every time we find ourselves in the presence of others, we find ourselves being purposefully, belligerently excluded in some type of way because someone is unhappy with us for some particular type of reason. And it's because you were selected. It's because you have a Christ-like power and a Christ-like aura about you. It's because people recognize the power coming off of you and the energy that you bring. So they exclude you. They can't be on your level. And the reason why they exclude you is because they can't be on your level. They don't want to be around you being better than them, constantly having to uplift you and give you praise, acknowledge your accolades, and admire your greatness in real time as you still have more greatness to achieve. You're not even where you're going to be yet, and you're already exuding confidence, greatness, self-esteem, a positive mindset more than most, and you're not even anywhere close. You're still in the beginning stages. All right, you're still in the beginning stages of building and putting things together and getting things in order. And that's another reason why their exclusion, their exclusion, all right, their exclusion, how we going to do this? All right, their exclusion was your improvement. There we go. Their exclusion was your, we're gonna get one. All right. There, I didn't want to say the older, their rejection is your protection. I was trying to come up with one off the fly, but their rejection is really your protection. All right. When people reject you and when people do not include you and they exclude you, it's for a reason. All right. When you are excluded, it's for a reason. Usually, if you try to work your way into groups where you're excluded, you're going to get burnt somehow. You're going to get hurt somehow. You're going to feel it. You're going to wish you stayed where you were. You're going to wish that you would be ye separate. This is why people don't want, this is why you're supposed to read the Bible. Even if, the information is old, even if it can't do nothing for you in some people's opinion, which I know is not true. I know that Bible, that book can help you. It can help you have a positive idea about your life, yourself. It's a lot of ways that book can help. In many ways, that book helps in every way it possibly can. All right. But now I see why there are people who don't want you to read it, because it would put you up on certain game and certain information. It would teach you to be ye separate. It would teach you to not walk in the counsel of the ungodly and the unrighteous and sit amongst the wicked. You're not supposed to be sitting amongst the wicked. If you are sitting, this is why the Bible says, be ye separate and come out from amongst them. God is telling you not to play around with these entities. All right. In some situations, you're not playing around with them, but you're forced to deal with them. So even when you're forced to deal with people, even when you're doing your best, even when you're putting your best foot forward, even when you're being the best person that you could possibly be, you'll still find that people will exclude you some way, somehow. You'll still see that there are barriers set up that you won't be able to cross. All right, you'll see that you don't have the illusion of inclusion. You're not included. You've probably been secluded and excluded your whole life. You've probably been by yourself your whole life. You've probably been out of the group and not in any group or among people, or fitting in your whole life. And it's cool. And I know we have our own saying, who wants to fit in? God made you to stand out. All right. Why fit in when you can stand out? Exactly. But all right, you are this way for a reason. It's time to accept it. It's time to acknowledge it. It's time to appreciate it. The fact that you get excluded. If you're excluded, that means you're just too good. If you're excluded, that means that you're on a higher level than most of the people who you're trying to join. You know, if they can't, if you can't beat them, join them, but they don't want to join you. They're too upset over the fact that they can't beat you. They don't want you to win. They don't want you to succeed. And that's why people are excluding you. We're not saying everyone, but the people who exclude you, they don't want to see you win. They don't want to be right up there cheering you on, or they don't want to have to see you in the binoculars and you celebrate, cross the checkered line, have the ladies run up with the champagne bottle and pop the champagne, and somebody's holding a trophy up, and then they bring you the $1 million and the new car and all that, and the sweepstakes and the vacation getaway. They don't want to see you with all that good stuff. And it could, that your version of that could just be a job, a new car, an apartment. There are some people that would come over and watch you. There are some people that will visit you in a homeless shelter but won't come see your new place. There are some people who will, bring you some food and ask you how you're doing while you're living in your car, but they won't come check out your new home after you get it and work hard and start your business. These are the same people who will like your post when you say I got a job, but when you say you start a business, they won't want anything to do with that. Some people exclude you, and then some people exclude themselves from you. Either one is not good. Either one you don't need. You don't need people who will blatantly outright show you that they don't want anything to do with you. Some of us have fear of abandonment. Some of us have been people pleasers. Some of us are just looking for a friend. Some of us have nobody and we just want some human interaction. You're going to have to toughen up. You're going to have to develop a thick skin. You're going to have to be comfortable with being uncomfortable and become comfortable with being excluded. You're going to have to be comfortable with being the odd man out, odd woman out. All right, you're chosen. You're anointed. You have a higher calling on your life. There's not going to be many people that you fit in with. All right, there's not going to be many people that you fit in with. You're going to be trying to go through your life like you're just like everybody else. And the thing is, you're not. You're going to be trying to fit in and join and wanting to be okay with everyone, and you're not okay in their sight. It's like a person who's got to go to a special school because they're highly intelligent, and you're highly intelligent in your normal regular class, and then once lunch and playtime comes, all the other kids are looking at you like a weirdo because you're smart, and um they're not intelligent enough to do as well as you in school. So now you may be getting targeted for that. Now you may be singled out for that. You may be excluded for that. This is another form of targeting, I think, too. Probably the best kind. Who wouldn't want to be left alone? Shoot, target me like that, baby. Leave me alone all you want. Leave me alone till the cows come home. All right, leave me alone until they resurrect the ancient Egyptian clone. Okay, leave me alone. All right. I don't know. I was trying to find something to go with that, but just leave me alone. Leave me alone. Leave me alone, alone, alone. Just leave me alone. That's that video right there. Nana, 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 nana. The teeth in the video. That video, man. As a kid, that video and the Human Nature video, my two favorite Michael Jackson videos. Billie Jean, Human Nature, and what's the other one I just said? Billie Jean, Human Nature, Who's Bad. I just said it. But either way, anyway. Yeah, Leave Me Alone, right. Leave Me Alone, and it's some other Michael Jackson songs I like. The one where he was on the motorbike and he turned into a claymation. I'm not sure if that's Leave Me Alone or whatever, but I'm about to go back and watch all them old Michael Jackson videos today. I'm just gonna be a big kid and go check me out some Michael Jackson videos, man. Because that's all I was watching when I was a kid, man. All like growing up in the '90s, all them old late '80s stuff, you caught that on TV. That's all you caught was all the late '80s stuff. All right, which was phenomenal. All right, by the way, I just have to add that in there. All right, and that's the reason why they want to exclude you. That's the reason why they want to exclude you. All right, you bring nostalgia, you bring uniqueness, you bring a whole new swagger, you bring something that ain't never been brought before, and people don't like to people don't like to be around that. It's like someone that's highly advanced and you're making everybody else look bad. That's how they're taking it. They're taking it as if you're making them look bad when all you're doing is trying to be cool and be friends with people. It's like Yakub. He had to go to a special school because he had that big ass head and he was extremely intelligent. All right, some of y'all have big dreams. Some of y'all have something big about you. All right, something big about you. No, I'm not talking about your derriere. All right, I'm talking about your aura. I'm talking about your presence. I'm talking about your energy. I'm talking about your potential. All right, not talking about what's anywhere else. Okay, not talking about what's in your shirt or what's in your pants. All right, we're not talking about what's moving and shaking when you're walking. All right, we're talking about your aura. All right, ladies. All right, we're talking about your personality. All right, talking about your presence. We're talking about what's on the inside, not what's on the outside. All right, some of y'all, well, I got some. We're talking about what's on the outside. Okay, some of y'all have a big presence about y'all, and you know the people that have to see you. All right, not the people that have to see you, not your physical appearance. All right, not the hips that be moving around in the office that be getting everybody's attention. Oh, she's here today. Not talking about that. All right, talking about your personality, your potential, and the presence that you have, everything about you that you have to offer that people just can't stand. People can't stand to be around someone that's sure of themselves, someone that knows they're going somewhere, someone that knows what they want to be and that knows that they can do it. All right, you are blowing them out the water with flying colors. You may not be as far ahead as them or as people in general or as far ahead as you should be. But mentally, when they look at you, they be like, damn, you pretty much got everything together. When they look at you spiritually, how you are as a person, how you treat people, You got it together. And that's why people are always trying to upset you and piss chosen ones off. And I'm not really going to get in too deep on that because that's a whole topic right there in itself. All right. All right. They're mad that you can do right. So they exclude you. All right. And plus, you'll never fit in with them anyway. An angel cannot fit in the presence of demons. You're not going to be able to fit in the presence of those who are demons. You're not going to be able to fit in the presence of those, shout out to Old Soul, who aren't dealing with their shadow work. All right. You got to do that. You have to do that shadow work. The shadow work is the work that keeps you from taking out your negative energy on others. It keeps you from going out and having a dirty stink aura when you're in public around other people. It helps you advance in life and it helps you grow. So that way, whatever you go through in life, you're not dealing with it and staying stuck with it and becoming it. You know, you don't want to become what you go through. Some people, I know they can't help it because unfortunately it was so, whatever happened was so traumatic that they lost themselves and they have to accept who they are now and love themselves for who they are, which is a whole process within itself. And that's another reason why people exclude you, because that's self-love. Self-love is strength. Self-love is power. All right. Self-love is I'm more powerful than these weak mother that can't do it how you do it. And not to say that being alone is good, because it's not healthy to be alone in total isolation and solitude. It's just not healthy. Even if you have one solid person to talk to, you need someone to talk to. Why do people end up doing things that they regret or things they can't come back from? Because they have no one to talk to. I passed a railroad track the other day and I kind of laughed at it because it's like, who would do that? But then it sat back in and I was like, I didn't laugh at it in the sense of laughing at it, but it's like I'm so focused on being successful and happy and joyful and all the good things that are coming into my life. It's like, who would lay down and sit on a railroad track? Somebody that's going through it with nobody to talk to, somebody that's possibly been excluded and that feels like they have nobody else to talk to. People need to feel like they have somebody to talk to. All right, so people need to feel like they have someone to talk to, so that way you could prevent somebody could prevent themselves from doing the unthinkable. All right, taking a temporary situation and handling it with a permanent solution. There's no coming back from taking a life or your own. So that's why people need a friend or need at least one person to talk to. Just one. All right. Even if it's God, just talk to somebody. But people will exclude you because they recognize the presence of God on you. People will exclude you because you're healing. You're doing your shadow work. You're becoming stronger and stronger. Your strength is pouring off of you. Good vibrations are pouring off of you. Negative is good to them. Evil is good to them. You're going to be excluded off of your aura and presence and energy alone. That's why when you open your mouth and go to talk to them, you get laughed at. People don't even want to hear what you have to say half the time. People will belittle you and change the subject in the middle of what you're saying after they just asked you your opinion. People do things like that to others who make them feel small. And you do that to certain people who are insecure about you without trying. Why? Because the level of brain capacity that you use All right. You use more of your brain. You use more of your brain. And people who are empathetic, they use more of their brain. Empathy is a superpower. It allows you to be smarter because you're emotionally intelligent and you're using your powers for good. That takes a high level of intelligence to not abuse power. It takes a high level of intelligence to be able to lift someone up and not put them down about something, to be able to include other people instead of excluding them. You don't have to you don't have to have anyone around you that you don't want, but purposefully trying to make someone feel left out, purposefully trying to make someone know that they're not included, all you're doing is turning that person into a savage if they care. If they don't care, they're just going to go about their day and be like, whatever. But if that person is affected by that and they have to work towards not caring, if they have to work towards building themselves up to feel confident or to have self esteem, or if they're bothered the least bit by that, you're turning that person into a savage. You're turning that person into an animal. That person is going to be cold by the time you get done dealing with them, and hopefully not cold hearted, but cold in a sense of turning their energy off in front of narcissistic, negative, disturbed character, uh, uh, disordered personality people. And we all have things that we need to work on and fix about ourselves. But when people who are attacking you come into your life with negativity, you have to, I mean, if you're trying to make some type of sense out of it, you're gonna have to do that the best way you can. And that's all we're doing here. All right, that's all we're doing here. So don't allow don't allow their exclusion to be an intrusion in your life. If somebody excludes you, that's okay. Their exclusion was a benefit to you. Their exclusion was a blessing for you. A lot of the people who don't want you around, God don't want you around them. So it's like they don't want you around. But the thing is, number one, you probably wouldn't want to be around them anyway. And number two, you're not supposed to be around them. You have a very powerful aura. You have a very powerful vibe. You have a very powerful presence. That's why people become deceptive in your presence. Act like they don't see you. Turn and look the other way. People are looking dead at you. You give them a head nod and say what's up, and they just turn and look the other way and expect you to grovel and still beg and plead for their acknowledgement or for them to speak to you or for them to see you or to speak back. No one's doing all that. If someone doesn't see you, hey, that's it. They're not getting anything else from you. People can play these games alone. All right, you make them feel alone how they make you feel alone when they come into your life and try to play games with you. How you know how they play you and how they look the other way and act like you don't exist and don't acknowledge you. Not that you care, but that's your time to implement the same strategy. You can implement the same strategy on them that they try to implement onto you when they're trying to exclude you. Exclude them. See, you have friends. You may not know it. Your friends are money. Your friends are peace. Your friends are love. Your friends are happiness. Your friends are joy. Your friends are success. Your friends are focus. Your friends are books. Your friends are God. Your friends are Christ. All right. Your friends are your ancestors, ascended masters, angels, archangels. You got plenty of friends. May not be able to see any of them, but you got some. All right. And plus, you got people all around, that are always interested in everything you do. All right. You got plenty of friends you don't even know about, but that's a whole nother topic, and we're not gonna take it there. All right. We're gonna stay on the positive tip. So those who end up excluded, you're gonna end up by yourself with a whole lot of money because you're gonna end up blessed. You're gonna end up using your time to create something that's worth value. You're going to end up having all that time by yourself and some money making ideas are going to cross your mind. And you're not going to have anybody around you to discourage you. You're not going to have anybody around you to tell you that that crazy idea that's crazy enough to work won't work. You're not going to have anybody around you to discourage you, put you down, try to clown you, try to make it seem like it's something wrong with you, because you won't let them beat you down. You won't let them beat on you. You won't let them have their fun with you. That's manipulation 101. There's something wrong with you because you won't let us have our way with you. That's how they do it. You're defective because you won't let us beat you down further. There's something wrong with you because you don't want to be engulfed with our negative mindsets and super toxic auras. Now you're the problem because you can peep people are unhealthy. You're the problem because you can peep that people aren't mentally sound. You're the problem because you can peep that they don't want anything to do with you. And you're not supposed to be smart enough to be able to see that. And that pisses them off. That makes them upset that you're that smart, that you can tell that I need to avoid them because there's something wrong here. And it's not me. You're not the issue, but they're going to try to convince you and manipulate you into thinking that you are with their exclusion. All right. They like groups of people can try to convince one person. It's called gaslighting. It's another form of manipulation. It's them trying to make you think that you're doing something wrong by wanting to stay away from them and their toxicity. And they use their groups to try, and their strength in numbers, to try to convince you and others that you're the problem and that there's something wrong with you because you don't fit in, or because you can't get along or go along or be a part of or whatever. But the thing is, what other people aren't seeing that's behind the scenes is that they're making it extremely difficult for you to do that. They're making it extremely difficult for you to fit in, to the point to where now you don't want to, because you view them as not being your tribe. You view them as birds of a feather flock together, and when you look at your feathers and theirs, there's not any that match. Your feathers are flyer than theirs, and they're trying to bring you down to the level and speed that they're flying at. When you're soaring up, you're way past them. You soar above them, higher than them, just off morals and standards alone. Not to mention any real work ethic being done here. Let people exclude you. It's gonna give you character. It's gonna build you up. All right, do it alone. They don't want to include you. Do it without them. They'll regret it later when you're doing your thing, and you know they're gonna want to be included. That's gonna be up to you. That's gonna be up to you. All right. So always know that if they don't want me to, if I'm not fitting in and they don't want me to be in their group, that means it's something that, it's something about me that is extremely rare. It's something about me somebody will eventually appreciate, and I'll be able to add value to somebody. But for now, I'm just going to add value to myself. If they exclude you, if it on purpose, add value to yourself. Don't focus on adding value to anybody else. First of all, you need to be focused on how you can add value to yourself. That should be your main priority. How can I add value to myself? How can I make my life better? How can I come up off of me, off the strength of me? How can things get better for me because of me? Because I want them to be better for me. I don't need to be in anybody's group. I don't need anyone to like me. I don't need anyone to befriend me. I don't need anyone to want to associate with me. I don't need anyone to be fake friendly with me. You can't even be fake friendly with people. Not that you want to, but you can't even, because they like you end up falling in a trap trying to get in where you fit in with people who are your low key enemies. You end up falling into a trap trying to get in where you fit in, where you think people, you think where you think you can, but people are low key enemies. So that the fact that they're excluding you, it means you're powerful. It means you're strong. It also means you're protected. It also means they sense the presence of God and they're shaking in their boots. They don't want that energy around them. and you don't want theirs around you. Thank you for watching this video. Smash the like button, smash the share button. Do not forget to subscribe for more amazing, powerful, insightful, uplifting, inspirational, life-changing videos like this one. Keep working on your mind. Keep working on you. Keep loving yourself. Peace.